it again. Number 2, Prince of War, has come from a long way back. It's interesting that the first 3 winners here at the Gardens have all come from well back in the field. Is this going to be an omen for the Golden Slipper? Could well be. Sure, the brakes went Scott's way on Ugachaka in the second in the straight, and Prince of War there, because Prince of War, I remember saying in the call, got shuffled back coming down the side, but he got out in plenty of time. Graham Rogerson's got him flying at the moment, and this Royal Academy colt has proven too good. Gee, the Royal Academies are doing well, eh? Numbers 2, 11, 7, 3. Number 2, Prince of War. Scott Seamer for Graham Rogerson, $11.10 and $2.80 in New South Wales. Number 11, Valedict, still a maiden, won't be for much longer. Stathi Katsidis for Clary Connors, $20.90. And number 7, third, My Tally, Jim Cassidy for Max Lee is $3.60. Officially fourth, number 3, Road to Dance. The favourite didn't run on, Solitary Soldier.
Yeah, just didn't run the distance, Rich.
Yeah, Prince of War there, very strong. Scott Seamer paying $11.10 in New South Wales there. But look at the bolters running second and third. Valedict, it's still a maiden, Graham. Hard to believe it's still a maiden. Won't be a maiden for long on that sort of form. And My Tally, well, I thought we had the money halfway up the straight, but just couldn't hold off the other two.
All right, there you have it, race number 3. Now, let's take you back to the enclosure. And John Tapp is with Bernadette Cooper.
Well, Bernie, when were you engaged to ride Whiskey on Ice?
John, Peter actually asked me to ride Whiskey on Ice last week when she didn't run, and then after she was scratched last week, she came back and asked me would I gallop the filly on Tuesday if I thought she was okay. Could I ride her in the slipper?
Were you surprised?
On Tuesday, no, because she had previously asked me to ride her. So, but I am still surprised to have her ride in the slipper. Yes.
The third female in Golden Slipper history.
Yes, that's right, and I need to run a place though to make it so the females run a place in a Golden Slipper, not just had a ride in a Golden Slipper.
You've drawn barrier 3. Has this filly got the speed to capitalise on that?
I think so, John. She hasn't got the speed to lead or be running second or third, I don't think. But in all her previous runs, she has been right on the speed or just behind the speed. So from 3, I think ideally she could be 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th. Yeah.
Bernie Cooper has arrived. You're in the slipper.
That's it, I'm here.
Back to Rosehill Gardens, and the winning trainer Graham Rogerson joins me now. Congratulations, Graham, a Group 2. That win at Flemington revved him up.
Yeah, he's always had a lot of ability, but he's a hard horse to ride, and he drew an alley which helped him, and I think he was stretching Scott's arms for a while there, but he got a nice run, and he does hit the line good.
You've been using Scott Seamer's services a fair bit in the last couple of months, and why wouldn't you?
Well, my secretary in New Zealand's very good friends with the Vellas, and it was the Vellas that talked to her to put him on La Belladama, and he won on it. And, but he does get good rides, and I think this is not a bad horse.
He's a cool customer, Scott Seamer. He's unflappable under pressure.
Yeah, he suits the horse. I don't know whether he's on him in the Derby. I haven't asked him yet.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead now, full steam ahead to the Derby next week.
Yeah, he's running in the Derby.
Well done, Graham. We'll see you at Randwick.
Thank you.
Graham Rogerson, trainer of Prince of War, and this AJC Australian Derby, Graham, is really shaping up as one hell of a contest.
It certainly is, John. Yep, and as Ian Craig said earlier on too today here, Richard, they're all so far coming from the tail of the field.
Yes, they are. That could have something to do with the pace in the races. It could have something to do with a bit of bias on the track. We don't know at this stage, but would pay to keep an eye on that if you're punting, and perhaps look for horses that do race a little bit off the pace.
Particularly as we look in towards the Amy Golden Slipper.
You know what inevitably happens though, as they get further into the day, they all want to sit back, the pace is slow, the leaders win. That's what happens.
All right. We've got the BMW coming up as we check the market there at Cheltenham on race number 3, the BMW Slipper.
Well, I don't have to.
Well, I know, but I mean...
I've won 4 of them.
You've won 4 of them. Yes, I remember them well. But I mean, just for an owner or a part owner, the thrill of it, to be here on a day, and the butterflies and the worries and everything that go with it.
Having a great horse in a great race like the Golden Slipper, the feeling can't be compared. Anyone out there who's ever been thinking about it should keep dreaming and go ahead and get themselves a horse, because when you get that feeling, you never want to lose it.
No, I can imagine. And I'll keep on imagining. Right now, let's go to Moonee Valley for race 3. Here's Greg.
Winning list as well, back in 1991. Here's Alto Ego coming in now, and Siberia and Environs the last 2. Not far off a start. Well tried, Dantana is the favourite. Siberia moved up, and Environs to complete the line-up for the 3rd. Previous race won by Walk On Air. The first was taken out by Queen Carey. Now they get ready for this listed race, 1,200 metres. All in, Environs having joined them. So they're set. About to break, lights flash, race 3, Sir Leslie Froggatt Stakes. Racing, and Superscape missed the start by a length, and Cook Street got back there too, and Crushed Eyes first out from Environs, away fast in the early part, Siberiad. They're trailed then by Andalay, pushing up on the inside into fourth from Plenary Indulgence, about 3/4 of a length, Dantana, who's outside Cook Street, and then came Alto Ego. And as they run to the turn at the 800 last is Superscape. Environs working hard, wide out finds the lead, a length and a half in front of Crushed Ice. Siberia at the outside, Andalay fourth on the fence, followed by Plenary Indulgence and Dantana within 4 of the leader, wider out, followed by Cook Street buried away on the inside, and then Alto Ego outside Superscape. Environs led before the turn, moving up Siberian, 1 Plenary Indulgence, Dantana wide but still working home from Crushed Ice, Cook Street. He's just held up a touch, and then came Superscape, Alto Ego, and Andalay dropped out last. Round the turn, Siberia took the lead from Environs. Dantana is poised for his run. He's coming home hard on the outside, and then Plenary Indulgence and Cook Street. It's Siberia in front. Dantana under the whip is trying hard. Siberia from Dantana. Siberia, Dantana, they're coming to the line, heads up and down. Siberia kicked, and one of the half-head Dantana. Third placing going to Environs, and then Plenary Indulgence, Cook Street, Crushed Ice, followed by Superscape. Long break in the field to Alto Ego, and Andalay was last in. Siberia kicking under great pressure from Damien Oliver to get home. Dantana joined it at the top of the straight, and they settled down to a fantastic struggle up the straight, but Siberia has got home for a narrow victory. Lee Friedman enjoying a bit of a day today. 5 Siberia, Damien Oliver and Lee Friedman winning in a good photo finish. Dantana second, he's been second 3 times in a row now, and third to Environs, who did a fair bit of work to find the front before just wilting on the run slightly. Cook Street spent a lot of his time looking for runs to get clear. He's worked home reasonably. He'll be better for the outing in town. Plenary Indulgence finishing just ahead of him in 4th place. Time there 112.6, 112.6. Numbers 5, 2 and 6. Siberia winning his first race. He put the blinkers on last start at Geelong and just got beaten by Deputy Head. So I think Deputy Head's going around tomorrow at Caulfield. Might be a little push there. There's the totes, 870, 240 Siberia, 130 Dantana, 260 Environs, 1180 Quinella, 3730 Exacta, 212 for the trifecta, 526 on race number 3 from Moonee Valley. Next is the Alistair Clark. It's a Group 2 for the 3-year-olds, race 4 over the 1600 at 5 minutes to 3.
Is that Damien Oliver factor again?
Well, might be a little consolation for him, seeing that Falvalon was unfortunately scratched, and he basically, I think, stayed in Melbourne to ride at Falvalon, and he's not in Sydney today. But, gee, he had to use all of his guile and all of his vigour to get Siberia at home there, and thank God he did.
Another one for Lee.
Favourite Moonee Valley, the third, number 2, Dantana, at 290, 130 over 4, Cook Street, 460, $1.90, and on $6 we have Plenary Indulgence.
Post-race lead.
They stand and they're off and running. Well, Superscape a little bit tardy away, and Cook Street wasn't brilliant out of the gates. First out here is Crushed Ice, headed off by Environs from Cyber 8. Andalay fourth early the fence, followed by Plenary Indulgence. A length further back, Dantana, followed by Cook Street. Then Alter Ego, and last of all, Superscape. At the turn at the 850, and Environs is very wide off the track here. At the moment, it's just in front. Now it's crossing down a little closer. It's still well off the fence. A length in front of Crushed Ice and Andalay. Cyber 8 has quickly got up on the outside third. It's now outside the lead as they come down the side of the leader, Environs from Cyber 8. A length, Crushed Ice and Plenary Indulgence. Pulled to the outside, Dantana. On the fence, hard ridden there is Andalay, and then Cook Street. Further back, Superscape, and last of all, Alter Ego. Cyber 8 outside, Environs 350 out. A length, Plenary Indulgence. Outside it, Dantana running on fairly. Then Crushed Ice and a gap, Superscape and Cook Street. Cyber 8 got its head in front of Environs. Coming at them, Dantana on the outside. At the 200-metre mark, it's Cyber 8 in front. front. Dantana down the outside, try to peg it back from Environs. Dantana's moving up to Cyberide at the 100-metre mark. Dantana and Cyberide. Dantana the outside. Cyberide fighting back, kicks back and gets home. Cyberide comes back to win ahead on the line, Dantana. 2 away, third Environs, fourth home Plenary Indulgence. Then further back, Cook Street, followed by Crushed Ice, Superscope, a gap in the race then. The last couple, Alter Ego, and last of all is Andalay.
5 Cyberide, Damien Oliver, 8.30, 2.40, 2 Dantana, 1.40, 6 Environs, 2.20.
Back and get the money. Number 5, after Dantana has gone up to it and got on terms with it. Here's Oliver just on the big screen, punching hard, hands and heels, lifting the horse's head, throwing the horse's head down right to the wire. And he's come back sufficiently to win. Cyberide, number 5, number 2, Dantana. Records another second, running up to win today, but just couldn't finish it off. And number 6, third. Environs, 5, 2 and 6. 5, 2, 6, officially fourth, number 1, Plenary Indulgence.
Right, Rolling Thunder now arriving at the gates at Kembla Grange.
Now, next event coming up from New Zealand, due at 2.27, 1 Nasa Pearl, 20 and 4, 2 Dan Road, 1.30, 1.40 favourite, 3 Pulitzer, 70 and 9, 4 Grout, 20 and 2, 5 Flanagan, 20 and 3, 6 Lady to Here, 17 and 150, scratch 7, 8 Validify, 31 the win, $6 for the place. Number 9, which is Country Class, 19 and 4, 10 Seducing, 32 and 5, 11 Sierra Dane, 14 and 3, 12 Absolute Steel, 57 and 12, favourite 2 Dan Road, 130 the win, for the place 140, tips at 2, 6, 11.
Now at Moonee Valley, the third, 5 Cyberide, 8.30 a win, 2.40 a place, 2 Dantana, 140, 6 Environs, 2.20. The Quinella, 12.30, Exacta 32.20, Trifecta 231.50, and the first 4, 5, 2, 6 and 1 is 947.
And their guest.
Stony Bay in 95 and Octagonal in 97. Interesting race. Universal Prince, all the rage, on tab limited, $2, $1.70. On screen now, Universal Prince, Justin Sheehan looked terrific winning the Randvet when he got the run. He just blew them away, didn't he? And Universal Prince, a pronounced favourite. As far as on-track activities are concerned, a little money late for Ethereal, a little, and a sprinkle for Dress Circle. The second pick on course is Tie the Knot, and then we've, actually Ethereal now from Tie the Knot, and then we go to Dress Circle. But Universal Prince will jump at around $2. Now there's only about 1 to move up here, and that is the favourite Universal Prince. Universal Prince is coming forward now. Previous race taken out by Prince of War. And we're set, ready to run in the BMW. Sail of Century a little bit toey. Starter on the stand. Presses the button. There they go on the BMW. Dress Circle was best out. Tie the Knot jumped away nicely, followed by Rain Gauge, Freemason, Ethereal, Sail of Century, and immediately back to last Universal Prince. Well, it's Dress Circle in front as they come along the home straight on the first occasion, with a lead of about 1.5 lengths on Freemason. 2 to Rain Gauge on the inside of Tie the Knot. 1.5 lengths into Ethereal, parked on the outside of Sail of Century. And 2.5 further back is Universal Prince. Out of the straight they travel and along past the 1900 metres. And Dress Circle lobs along at his leisure, 1.5 lengths on Freemason. 2 then to Rain Gauge on the inside of Tie the Knot. Nice and handy today, Tie the Knot. Sail of Centuries on the inside of Ethereal, so Scott Seamer on Ethereal, right on the back of Shane Dye on Tie the Knot, and Universal Prince lobs along at the tail of the field. They work their way past the 1600 and swing the next bend, and Dress Circle shows the way. About 1.25 lengths on Freemason. 3 away third is Rain Gauge, Tie the Knot on the outside, and then comes Ethereal. On its inside is, and just shading the mare, Sail of Century, and 1.75 lengths Universal Prince. 12 lengths would cover them now as they race down towards the halfway in the BMW. They're at the 1200 now, and the leader is Dress Circle, but Rodney Quinn on Freemason is not letting Brian York on Dress Circle have things his own way. He's really serving it up, Freemason, to Dress Circle, and 4 lengths Tie the Knot, and ahead ahead to Rain Gauge the inside. A length and 3/4 Ethereal ahead back on its inside. Sail of Century and Universal Prince is last. The pace has quickened a little now as they work their way to the 800 marker, and Dress Circle and neck on Freemason, about 4 lengths to Tie the Knot, and then Rain Gauge, followed by Ethereal, and a couple of lengths to Universal Prince, about to make some ground, and Sail of Centuries on his inside. At the 550, coming down towards the home corner in the BMW, and Dress Circle being sent along by Yorker. Half Freemason, Rain Gauge, Tie the Knot. Dye had a quick peep on Tie the Knot. He was looking for Justin Sheehan on Universal Prince, and here's Justin and Universal at the 300. Rain Gauge got to Dress Circle and Freemason, Tie the Knot, and Universal Prince. Rain Gauge, Beatman pulls the whip, but Universal Prince is claiming the Victorian. It's Universal Prince and Rain Gauge. Ethereal starting to fly. Universal Prince hits the front. Ethereal, go! Yes! Did Ethereal make it? To the naked eye, looked as though it might have. But hang on to your briefs. Ethereal and Universal Prince from Rain Gauge, followed at the head of the others by Freemason, and then came Sail of Century, Tie the Knot, and Dress Circle. Photo. Ethereal and Universal Prince. Gee, didn't Ethereal come with a witherer? And, yep, she's got it. No numbers up, but the slow motion replay has indicated that the Bonnie mare from the Shaky Isles has got there in the nick of time. The low angle shot shows Ethereal, the close shot, the ground shot shows Ethereal, and if those shots are any criteria, well, she'll get it and pay $5.50 and $2.70. Yep, there's the number. Number 7, Ethereal, written by Scott Seamer, has come with a witherer when Universal Prince looked all over a winner, and Ethereal gets there at $5.50 and $2.70. Number 7, and Scott Seamer, there is that man again. 3 consecutive winners today. Let's check the full numbers. 7, Ethereal, $5.50, $2.70. Number 4, second, Universal Prince, had it won until the last bit, $1.50, written by Justin Sheehan. And third goes to number 5, Rain Gauge. Gee, didn't he run a race? Darren Beatman for George Hanlon. Insufficient starters for third tote.
Well, how about that? You couldn't ask for a greater finish. And look, when you talk about great mares, now look,
she's boxed up here inside Universal Prince. She's easing away behind Universal Prince. She can't get between Universal Prince and Tie the Knot, so she comes to the outside. Scotty Seamer stokes her up. Looks like the race is lost because Rain Gauge and Universal Prince had it between them in the last few strides. She's just unleashed an enormous run, and Ethereal has nailed them right on the line, Graham.
Well, you talk about great mares in recent years. Let's Elope is one that comes to mind. But I tell you what, she's right up there now.
Oh, she's up there with the best staying mares. Well, certainly she may be the best staying mare I've ever seen. Let's Elope was up there, but Ethereal, wow, this is something right out of the box. She's only just come right. She's got to a right distance. She's had the race run to suit her with a good fast pace on. She's come from the tail and got him.
And it's the way that she did it.
And the way she did it.
The way that
that's
she
the
did
way
it.
That's the way it needs to be done if you're a horse that races from the back. And she, in the nick of time, Graham.
Right in the nick of time by a lip, right on the post. Just knew. I can't get over this.
Yeah.
Let's go down to John Tapp.
Righto, Graham. Well, I'm standing in the middle of the birdcage here amidst a very big throng of excited race watchers, and I'm desperately searching for trainer Sheila Laxon. To this point in time, Sheila has not come back into the birdcage. She must have been right up in the stand somewhere. She'll be battling her way through many hundreds of people, most of whom will be pulling her up, of course, to offer congratulations on this magnificent return to form by the heroine of last year's Spring Carnival, winner of the 2 big cups last year in Melbourne. It's taken her just a little while to hit her hobbles again this time back. This was her 4th run back, this preparation. Naturally enough, people were beginning to wonder whether or not she was going to find her best form again. But back to her favourite distance of 2,400 metres, she certainly found that. Universal Prince actually came from behind Ethereal, got past her halfway down the straight, looked certain to win, and then the mare just sprouted wings under the deft touch of Scotty Seamer and has been able to get up in the last couple of strides. Here she comes now, if you'll just follow me, and we'll talk to Sheila Laxon.
Well, she's certainly not going to stud now.
Sheila doing an interview on course at the moment, and she's with us now. Congratulations, Sheila.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. That was
happiness and relief.
Yeah. That was amazing effort on her part. What a gutsy little horse.
Was there ever a doubt in your mind that she may not recapture her spring form?
No, I've always thought she's feeling as good as she used to, and she had a very rocky run through the race. I thought that might have cost her, but the post came up just at the right time.
Universal Prince came from behind her and got well past her in the straight.
Yes, she just couldn't get a run, and then I thought, oh, she's got nowhere to go. But credit to Scott, he just kept going and pulled her out. And
yeah, and this association between yourself and New Zealand trainer with a former Brisbane-based jockey has snowballed from humble beginnings.
Oh, hasn't it, Evan? And good on him for making the most of his opportunities. He's a tremendous rider.
Well, that's his third for the day, so he'll go into the Golden Slipper chock full of confidence.
Well, not knowing him, he won't. He always takes every ride as they come, so makes the most of it. So.
When do we see the Bonnie Mare again?
I've got to ask the owner.
Not committing?
Not committing.
Okay, Sheila. Welcome back to Sydney, and you've come back with a bang.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
Enjoy the moment.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, love. Sheila Laxon, who captured the hearts of Australian race fans last spring, and Graham, by golly, she's going to do it all over again this autumn, I feel.
Yeah, she sure is, John. Well done. That was fabulous. And we just saw an interesting person lead Ethereal back there.
Yes, Ethereal's being led back to scale by none other than Patrick Hogan, who, of course, the great New Zealand breeder who owned the sire of Ethereal's mother, Romany Conti, Sir Tristram. He also stands the great Zabeel, and Patrick there led Ethereal back to scale. He also, of course, stands Ethereal sire Rhythm. So Patrick there with a bit of a connection there to Ethereal, and the Vellas are also owners of the horse. They're also big.
Now we've only got two to move along. Here's Roman Arch coming up into the line, and All Courage, and we'll have them right. Roman Arch has said he's had 2 starts here. He's failed on each occasion. All Courage, the likely front runner to get set, and we'll have them ready. Favourite is Dash for Cash ahead of Royal Code. Little late money for Roman Arch. At longer odds, of course. So they're set to go. Dash for Cash the inside. Ready, Royal Code shifting about. Starters holding onto them. It looks okay from here. Now they're all clear and they're away. Dash for Cash jumped fast, so did Royal Code. Ebony Knight getting back in the early stages. All Courage is pushing on from out wide, and Roman Arch is going with him. As they put 200 metres astern now, and All Courage is working up on the outside and finds the lead ahead of Roman Arch and Dash for Cash on the inside third. They're followed then by Royal Code in 4th placing. He's just where he'd want to be at that turn at the 1200. He's 4th, 1 out, 1 back, and Dash for Cash immediately inside him. 2 lengths further back is Mr. Trickster, and he's followed by Mr. Greg and Ebony Knight last of all. All Courage put on a good tempo at the 1,000 metres. Roman Arch a length and a half away second. Dash for Cash third the inside. Royal Code's a neck away on the outside. 2 lengths to Mr. Trickster, followed by Mr. Greg and Ebony Knight. All Courage at the turn at the 800 by 2. Roman Arch is second. Royal Code is third on the outside, and Dash for Cash pocketed away on the inside from Mr. Trickster, Mr. Greg, and Ebony Knight last of all. Up the side, All Courage a length and a half clear. Roman Arch second. On the inside is Dash for Cash. Here's Mr. Trickster taking off at the 600 metre mark. Royal Code goes with him just on his inside, and then Ebony Knight and Mr. Greg is last of all. Coming up to the turn now, and Roman Arch put the head in front of All Courage on the inside, and Mr. Trickster. Now Dash for Cash getting away from the rail. Royal Code is on his outside. They're coming around the turn. Roman Arch from Mr. Trickster. Royal Code trying to keep Dash for Cash pocketed. There's a run coming for the grey. Mr. Trickster in front of Roman Arch. Royal Code and Dash for Cash is in behind them now, and Ebony Knight swamping them from the back, but Royal Code's hit the lead near the line, and Royal Code's won it. Royal Code by 3/4. Ebony Knight might grab second from Mr. Trickster. Dash for Cash fourth, and then Roman Arch, All Courage and Mr. Greg. Yeah, great ride by Stephen Arnold to get Royal Code home. Horse number 2. Ridden by Stephen Arnold, trained by David Hall, now unbeaten in 2 starts at Moonee Valley. And as it panned out, as a lot of people were suggesting, Dash for Cash might not get the runs that he wants, and that's about what happened. And he was left a bit flat over the final stages of the race. In fact, he's failed to run a place. Numbers are 2, 5 and 4. 2, 5 and 4. Mr. Trickster Dan Nikolic causing that little surprise, off and running 600 from home, and it's helped him get amongst the money. Time is 138.2. 138.2, 2, 5, 4 and won the numbers. Royal Code perhaps just finding the staying races a little beyond him at his last couple of starts, back to 1,600 metres, and obviously on a track that he can produce some big finishes on, and he's got the prize in impressive style. Royal Code first, second Ebony Knight, sign of some form for him, and third Mr. Trickster, 254 in 138.2 on race 4. Next is a major race here, the 3AW Australia Stakes, 1 and 8 coming out, and race 5 at 340.
Yeah, Richard, the fast pace suited Royal Code.
It did, and he does love Moonee Valley. That race could have a little bit of a bearing on the Doncaster here in Sydney next week, because Royal Code has sort of been headed that way, and so has Dash for Cash. And Dash for Cash just might have come to the end of his tether. He's been up at a high level for quite a long time, since the Magic Millions, really. And that's back in January. So Royal Code, though, he's lifting and looks like he's going on with the job.
Certainly is.
Racing. Jumped at a good line. Royal Code and Dash for Cash, the two favourites, both began well. All Courage out in a hurry with Roman Arch. They're heading up towards the front, and the pace will come from the outside with All Courage going up to head off Roman Arch and Dash for Cash early. Royal Code will be back running fourth on the first turn. 2 lengths further back is Mr. Trickster, followed by Mr. Greg and Ebony Knight. On the first turn at the 1250 metre mark, All Courage takes up the lead. A length and a half out in front now from second placing. Moving forward is Roman Arch, a length into Dash for Cash. A neck the outside, fourth outside him now is Royal Code. 2.5 further back then came Mr. Trickster at the 1,000. 2 lengths to Mr. Greg, and last of all Ebony Knight. Along the back inside the 900 metre mark, and the leader is All Courage. All Courage by nearly 2 lengths to Roman Arch. They slow up 2 lengths further back. Royal Code on terms with Dash for Cash as they come off the turn at the 800. 49.6 the first 800 here, and it's All Courage freewheeling by a length and a half. Second Roman Arch, a length further back Royal Code. Dash for Cash back inside him. Mr. Trickster taking off, and he'll start to flush out Royal Code as they go to the 600 metre mark. Then Ebony Knight, and last of all is Mr. Greg. Roman Arch going up to All Courage. The sprinters on. Further out is Mr. Trickster. Royal Code drop back a little. Dash for Cash has bottled up the grey over on the inside. Roman Arch at the 350 put its head in front of Mr. Trickster. All Courage under pressure. Then Royal Code going up, holding Dash for Cash in a pocket. Dash for Cash can't get out. Now he's out. Mr. Trickster at the 200 in front from Royal Code. Dash for Cash cluttered up for room. Roman Arch coming back again. Then wider out Ebony Knight. Royal Code has got its head in front. Ebony Knight after it from Mr. Trickster. Royal Code the leader, and Royal Code 3/4, 2 Ebony Knight, and nose third. Mr. Trickster, and fourth home in the race is Dash for Cash. Turning for home, probably cost him the race there. Not a lot of room. Further back then Roman Arch. A gap then to All Courage, and Mr. Greg is last of all.
2 Royal Code, Stephen Arnold, 250, 160, 5 Ebony Knight at 330. No third for Mr. Trickster.
First up, Kembla Totes.
8-4-6-5, 8 Raise and Win, $13.40, $3. 4 Vital Asset, $2. 6 Sky Kiss, $2.20. Quinellas paid $25.50. Exacta were $109.70. Trifecta $387.70. First 4, 8, 4, 6 and 5. $5,262.80 on race number 4. 123.66 the time, a short half head by a head. At this stage, no sectional will chase that up. 8, 4, 6.